Thomas here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. Today I am once again building something from Skyrim and once again building the Dragon Priest mask. You have seen me do this with two other methods. Once I sculpted it and cast it in resin, and another I built it out of EVA foam. So I was looking for things to do again, and I really love this particular mask, which the one that I have sold, so I like to have one on display. So I'm going to put my own spin on the paint job, and instead of doing it by building it by hand, I'm going to 3D print it instead. So today we are making a custom Dragon Priest mask from Skyrim, 3D printing it and doing a custom paint job. Hopefully it doesn't look stupid. Let's get to building. I am by no means a 3D printing expert. If you look at my channel, of the almost 650 videos that I've made, I may have 10 total videos on 3D printing. I pretty much just click a couple of buttons, size it to fit my platform, slice it, and cross my fingers that it works. I like trying a bunch of different building methods, and while I appreciate the skills that go into 3D modeling and printing, it's not something that I've spent a lot of time in. I've found that I can build a lot faster than my 3D printer can print, so oftentimes I just go that route. I printed this out in PLA Plus on my Anycubic Cobra S1, and thus am validating my purchase of a 3D printer again for my wife. So this is the print with the supports removed. I actually printed this about a year or so ago. I have a stockpile of prints in my supply closet that I am slowly going through and finishing whenever I have a difficult time deciding what to build for the week. This was one of those weeks. Trying to get ready for a vacation and having to get 3 weeks ahead in builds, so I was kind of strapped for time. I do this so I don't have a lull in my videos. I'm going to sand the surface a little with this heel sander that I bought on Amazon to get rid of some of the layer lines. I'm not committing too much time to sanding at this stage because I know that the next step will save me a little bit of time. I then hit the build with some automotive primer filler. After about 2 or 3 primers with sanding between each layer, it got smooth enough. There are a lot of different versions of the Dragon Priest mask in the game, and I wanted to make mine a bit different than all of them. So I took some inspiration from some real gemstones that I bought for a build that I didn't use. If you know what that video is from where I used the rest of them, you're a real Much Props fan. I'm going to try and get my base layer with spray paint in similar shades. I got some fancy Meta Ray-Ban glasses for my birthday and thought I would test out its recording capabilities. I still need to mess around with the settings, but I thought I would use them for some point of view things that I often swipe past when editing videos, like spray painting outside. I lay down a layer in this turquoise color and then follow it up with some other various shades of blue. Then I sealed it with a glossy clear coat. So with the base layer down, I'm going to start building up texture layers and spraying a clear coat between each. My goal is to give this paint job a little bit of dimensionality by separating each layer with a clear coat layer. I did layers using sponges, a couple using paintbrushes, and in total maybe 6 or 7 layers of paint followed by clear coats. I'm trying to mimic the actual gemstone as best I can, and that dimensionality should help to kind of mimic it. I even busted out some acrylic paint pens that my mother got me for my birthday. She is an avid contributor to my hoarding of art supplies and my ridiculous collection of acrylic paint pens. I don't know who in the marker factory was in charge of putting the markers into this case, but the arrangement of them is diabolical. I spent a good bit of time after this was done sorting through the colors and putting them in a proper arrangement. Once I clear coated this layer, I went back over the edges with a dry brushing of white acrylic to make all the details of the actual mask stand out. And with that, this build is pretty much done. I hope this video of more of the finishing a 3D print was helpful, and you at least got some good ideas for custom paint jobs you could do to your props. are finished. Here is the end result. Overall, I think the paint job turned out pretty awesome. It may not be exactly like labradite, but I think it got fairly close, and it definitely sails as something that may be made out of stone instead of a piece of plastic. Maybe you will try and make one of these yourselves and impress your friends with your ability to make something and customize it and keep it and not sell it. True. Maybe you'll get some.
Yay!
And inevitably, they're going to ask you, how'd you make that? And give them one of these. Tell them, much props. Now, I could probably put a strap on it and lights and all kinds of cool stuff, but I think I'm just going to let it sit on a shelf. Peace out. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube and you want to see more builds like this one, please consider joining these awesome people listed here with me over on my Patreon to build a bigger, better, more creative community together.